So welcome to Jesuit Refugee Service Uganda. My name is Father Kevin White. I'm a Jesuit priest from the United States. Boston is my home. But currently I have the privilege of serving as the country director for JRS here in Uganda. JRS, as you may know, is a much loved work of the Society of Jesus, the Jesuits. It was founded in 1980 by Father Pedro Rupe, one of the great founders, Father General in Rome, in response to the Vietnamese boat crisis. And Rupe was convinced that the Jesuits needed to be at this need of our times, but also that it would be a benefit to Jesuits to touch this human suffering, and we too would be healed by all of that. JRS is present in over 50 countries now, working primarily in education. We have a great initiative undergoing now, the Global Education Initiative, to expand our opportunities for refugees and asylum seekers to better their life through education, which many feel, as I do, that education is the primary work of justice. So here in Uganda, I've been here for 3 years now. I served in South Sudan with JRS for 3 years, and then I was even in Washington, D.C. with JRS for a few years. In Uganda, we have two projects. One is in Kampala, and then the second is in Adjumani. In Kampala, we serve, accompany and advocate for refugees who have chosen to live in an urban area. And one of their great needs is English. Most of the refugees coming to Uganda are from Francophone countries, Congo, Burundi, Rwanda. So we teach them English. We put their children through schools, through primary education sponsorships. We offer livelihoods training to give them a skill that they can use to find some employment. So we have hairdressing, tailoring, carpentry, electronics repair, catering, fine arts and crafts, and tailoring, I think I mentioned. We have business skills training. We have seed capital for them to start their businesses after they graduate from our classes. And we also have a basic needs or an emergency support program where we try to meet the most vulnerable. Now, how does one define that? We try to meet the needs of the most vulnerable, those who most recently arrived, women-headed households, pregnant women, elderly, those with special needs. We try to meet their needs for food, rental assistance, and minor medical care. So that's the work in a nutshell, what we do in Kampala. In Adjumani, where JRS was for 16 years, from 1992 to 2008, we returned in 2016 in response to the latest crisis of the South Sudanese refugees. And we operate an education program in secondary education, which was the need that we identified and the need that UNHCR, the local church, and the local ministry asked us if we could address. We struggle for funding. It's a difficult climate to raise funds in a world that is exhausted and overwhelmed by the needs of refugees. So we're grateful for the support, and I want to give a special thanks to the Jesuit Mission Office in Ireland for their generous support with which I was able to purchase a new vehicle to help us get around and facilitate our movement. So I'm very grateful to the Jesuit Mission Office and the generosity of the Irish people. My ancestors from Boston, but my ancestors are from Ireland. The needs, and I'll just wind this up, some of the needs that we meet here are for education. We try to address for skills to help them find work on the streets, which we address. Psychosocial counseling. People come, yes, they are in need of material support and services, but at a really deeper level, as I say, they need to be reminded of their dignity as sons and daughters of God. That what has happened to them, what has forced their fleeing their home country is not normal. It's not what God wants. It shouldn't have happened, and that there are people that care for them and that want to support them in their hour of crisis. So we try to touch them at that level as well, meet them with respect, support them in a time when they are dealing with not only the trauma of exile, but all the horrible litany of woes that have propel them to leave their country. Murder, rape, trauma, violence, all of that. It breaks your heart. But there is hope. Refugees are resilient. They're not a drain on society. They contribute to society in Uganda. They certainly contributed to my country. And so it's a real privilege to work with JRS. I'm touched daily by the life of the refugees, how resilient and hopeful they are. Yet people filled with faith, and there's humor, all in the midst of a terrible situation that the world continues to need to work to make it a more just world. So I want to thank you again for your interest, and check out our website, Jesuit Refugee Service. Yeah, thank you very much.